Hi, welcome to another video on the Target Individual Experience, the Target Individual Program. So today is Tuesday, um, May 1st. Now, I didn't do a video yesterday. Ethan was sick, and so he didn't go to school. I took my daughter to school instead. But I did record my trip because again, to take her to school and picking Pam up, and taking her to work, right? So of course, still targeting going on, still being psychologically tortured and harassed, and so same thing today. Also Friday, it was my weekend to have the kids. So left by Pam to go to my house. So I want to start off with, uh, leaving Pam. This is her block, Martens, and going on the way home. And you know, again, what's been happening is that they've been getting so desperate that they've been trying to cause me to have an accident. And and I'll show you. I think I showed you in another video of a van, right? A white van coming in the opposite direction, coming into my lane. Okay, and again, I have to be a defensive driver. When you're a TI, because they will try to make you have accidents. Now the car I'm driving, it's not my car. It's Pam's car. She lets me drive it because she doesn't want to take care of it. She doesn't want to get up in the morning to move it from one side of the street to the other because she rather stay inside and sleep. Okay, so plus, I do use the car to take the kids to school and to take her to work. Okay, and on the weekends that I have the kids, she let me take the car for the weekend. I mean, that's if she doesn't have anywhere to go. Okay, and also when it's her weekend, I leave the car with her. If she's not going to go anywhere, sometimes I'll take the car. But on her weekend, I usually leave the car so she can use it, with the kids, which is rarely because for even on her weekend, I'm still majority of the time over by her. Okay, so with the heavy targeting going on lately, I've noticed a change in her behavior in terms of towards me, and normally because they've been using the police so much, that she has again showing this attitude where she's like very nonchalant, very non-carish, and for instance, I go to bed like I try to go to bed early, okay, except for when I'm being heavily targeted. The sleep deprivation, I can't go to sleep. So for the most part, though, I do try to go to bed early, and I'm constantly asking her to hold on a second. And so right, so I usually tell her, hey, can you clear down your bed because I'm ready to go to sleep. Now the thing is with Pam is that she loves to just she come home from work, she'll go through her bag and she'll just throw everything on the bed and just leave it there. Okay, and you know if I'm sleeping in the living room, she'll throw a whole ton of stuff on her bed, and she won't even clean it up and pick it up. So I have to tell her, hey, can you clear down your bed? I want to go to sleep early. Okay. So I've noticed lately that she just doesn't care. She'll go in the bedroom, she'll fall asleep. Her bed would be messy as hell, and even though I tell her, the concern is like, hey, there's no concern actually. I should say that, hey, let me clear down the bed so that when Nigel comes to sleep, You know, he doesn't have to wake me up so I can clear on the bed. There's no like, you know, thinking as hey, let me do this so that way, you know, even if I'm sleeping, he comes in the bed, he's not gonna wake me up because my bed is clear. So when she's sleeping, I have to wake her up, and then I have to wait another 10 to 15 minutes to get 10 to 15 minutes to get her to clear down her bed, you know, because she, again, you know, piles a whole set of stuff on her bed. So I've noticed recently that she hasn't even been doing that. So I've been sleeping on the couch. Okay? And then when I talk to her about it, you know, she's like, yeah, okay, okay. And then that's it. And then she starts targeting me, you know, like, again, with the palm thing and so forth. And so this morning, you know, I had to get on her case because uh, Ethan had woken up in the middle of the night and slept in her bed with her because I was on the couch. You know, I slept on the couch. So I get up this morning, and she did the same thing yesterday with Alyssa, because Alyssa slept in her bed, in the bed yesterday with her. And I had to, you know, I get up, I wake Ethan up. I didn't see Alyssa. I went to the bedroom. I asked her to wake Alyssa up for me, please. And, you know, I went to brush my teeth, you know, make the kids breakfast, and so forth. You know, and I went back to her room, and I'm like, can you wake Liz up? So anyway, me and Ethan were eating our breakfast, and I'm done, and I don't see Alyssa. I'm like, hey, I go back in her room. I'm like, can you just wake Alyssa up? She has to go to school. You know this. If you want to lay in bed and sleep and get up late like you do every single morning, that's you. But if any of the kids is sleeping in your bed, you know, and it's a school weekday, you know, get up and wake them up. Don't, you know, stay sleeping there with them. I mean, it's ridiculous. So we got into a little spat about that because with Ethan, because I had, before I went to make breakfast, I told her to wake Ethan up, finished making breakfast, you know, went back to the bedroom, and she's sleeping. And Ethan is sleeping. I'm like, hey, come on, you know, you can't do that, okay? He has to get up. He has to eat. He has to brush his teeth. We have to be out here so he can get to school on time. You know? So the thing is with her is like, you know, I mean, when the two kids are sleeping in their own bed, you know, I get up and I wake them both up, okay? But when one of them is sleeping with her in the bed, in her bed, you know, I just wake whoever is in their bed up, and I go make my breakfast. I go to her and I say, can you wake up the other child? And she's like, yeah. But then as I leave, she goes right back to sleep. You know, I just don't understand it. And we constantly have this kind of argument because to me, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay? You're a parent, you know, you would think that you would want to make sure your child get to school on time. Okay? Because if I'm not here, let's say, you know, during the week something happened and I have to go to my house, you know, the kids always get to school late. At least 99% of the time. There may be one or two times where, you know, they may get to school early. But 99% of the time, they're, Ethan especially, because we have to take him to school first, because his school starts earlier than Alyssa, he always gets to school late. You know, and it's kind of ridiculous. So anyway, we got into the spat this morning, and immediately they started with the police sirens and stuff like that. You know, and I explained that in this video. So this video is going to be a pretty long video, but I need you guys to watch it because it's from Friday, which was the 27th. Okay, April 27th. No, I'm sorry, not April 27th. April 28th, right? Which is Friday. So anyway, we're leaving to go to my house. Let me start the video. I'm gonna turn the sound off again because of copyright reasons, and you know I don't want my video to get flagged for copyright infringement. So this is me. I'm turning on to Linden Boulevard, which is right here. Okay, and so I'm driving. And you see what just happened here? So this vehicle, this black vehicle, and again, you'll see even today they're heavily color coded, using the two colors, gray and black. Okay, and as you see here, so he's just gonna pull out in front of this guy, not even wait until it's clear for him to go. He just doesn't care. And again, they do that to get my attention, right? That's the way they do things, And then he stops right here. See, this is all street theater. Okay? This is all street theater. Alright? Now, as I approach this vehicle with the flashing light, these two guys is gonna get out. Like I said, I've done this I've said this on my show. I'm not sure if I've said it in the video, but whenever they feel confident in what they're doing, right, they will always have these white gentlemen wearing suits, kind of looking like, CIA type person, right? So these two guys in this vehicle, the flashing light, it had an official City of New York license plate. So I'm guessing they work for the city, right? So as I approach it, he starts walking, and then he does this. Okay, so there's another guy, but I guess I thought he was walking with this other guy, but I guess he stayed. He turned around and went back. Let me see if I could see him. So again, street theater. So that the reason this guy pulls out again, another here. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't two guys, just one guy. But anyway, doesn't matter because you'll see the street theater. So he's gonna take his hands, take his thumb, do this, right? Now. Okay, I was describing. Look at that. Let's go. These guys. What's the City of New York? Look at them. No, I hit a bump and the camera, the phone tilted up, right? Because for the reason I had bought this camera mount, and all of a sudden it just doesn't hold the camera in place anymore. You see what just happened here? So look at this. You hear that? You hear the sirens? So what happened? And I'm gonna explain it here, and then I'm gonna describe it you'll hear me describe it in the video. So I'm approaching an intersection. Okay, I have the green light. Okay. So as I get close to the intersection, I heard the siren. It was a very whoop again, and I'm gonna tell you what that is. Okay, so earlier on in my targeting, okay, when I was being on the heavy remote neural monitoring, and I've said this on my show, I've talked about this on other videos that I've done. So, for example, every time I was, thinking something, like something I didn't want me to think about. Like for example, I used to listen to a lot of Bob Marley. So especially I used to listen to Babylon System. There's a song called Babylon System, right? By Bob Marley. It talks about how Babylon, the police, the people in power, how they, basically manipulate people in society. How they deceive them, they trick them, and basically, control them. So I used to sing that song a lot, and every time that song would come on, I would listen to it. I hear the police siren, and it would go, whoop. That's it. Okay. When I used to get up in the middle of the night, go use the bathroom to take a piss. The minute I took my, and I'm trying not to be raw here, but the minute I took my penis out, I would hear a police siren. Whoop. Okay. Whenever I would get ready to have sex, police siren. Whoop. Right? So they were basically invading my privacy, spying on me, watching my activity, and they would use the police to try to stop me from listening to certain things, to try to stop me from, having sex. And so they would use the police, right, with the sirens, with that, ooh, to do it. So what you just heard there is that exact same sound, right? It's just that one or two. It'd be like whoop or whoop whoop, and that's it. Okay? And this went on many years. Still goes on. Okay? Still goes on. Not as frequently, but still goes on. Okay? Especially when I'm on the heavy remote newer monitoring, which, again, it's all the time, but sometimes it's more heavily concentrated. It means that if I'm watching a television show and a certain word is said by a character on a show, I would hear that, right? So I'm approaching this intersection. Cop car now, all I heard was whoop, and by the time I looked, he had already, run the red light, and so I couldn't stop. If I stopped, he would have crashed into me. So I had to speed up, okay, to get in front of him, okay. And I didn't catch it, the whole, with him running the red light thing, but you'll see when I realized that the camera was tilted up.
Yeah, he literally
And this is me explaining.
Almost freaking run me over, is he? Look at that. Almost crashed into me. Turn on his sirens.
And
turn on his sirens.
When I realized that the camera had pointed up,
as soon as he got to the intersection, he turns on his sirens. As soon as I'm reaching the intersection, then he turns on his sirens. Right? Almost crashed into me.
And you hear him. You hear the whoop again, right? I mean, clearly, these people are just ridiculous with the intimidation and harassment that they're doing. Yeah, the fact that they're trying to cause an accident or have me cause an accident for whatever reason. Okay?
Daddy?
Yes, Ethan.
Before I saw like.
Okay, so. And now I'm on my block, and again, they'll use moving trucks. You better move or what have you, and I'm like whatever. But anyway, so I have another video, but after this, but I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna play. So this is Friday, so I'm gonna play Sunday, right? So Sunday, took the kids back to Pam, and my oldest son Bryce had came down because again it's my weekend. He's 16 years old, and he's with me every other weekend also, and it's the same weekend that I have Ethan and Alyssa. So dropped the kids by Pam. Didn't the targeting was very subtle, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to start recording yet because I have a long way to go and I don't want to run out of storage space, just in case they do something that's so blatant, right, that I'll miss it and not be able to show it. So anyway, drove to the Bronx. He lived in the Bronx with his mom, and dropped him off. And as I had as I was dropping him off about a block away, which I turned, I make a left. I saw an ambulance parked up right next to a park. It's a very small park, right? And so after I dropped him off, I waited for a few minutes because he had to get some speakers for me, and so after about 5 minutes, he came back down with the speakers, and so I headed back to Brooklyn. So as I'm driving down, this is a block away now, I see this. Now, as we were coming, there was just one ambulance there that was parked up, right? One ambulance. I mean, there was nobody. There was no EMT, because I looked in the park. They didn't have anybody in the park. There's nobody in the park, right? Except for maybe one or two kids that was there. That was it. There was no EMT, nothing, right? Dropped him off, turned around, heading back to the highway, and look at this commotion. Okay, so that was my trip to, to getting back on the highway. Okay, so now, okay, let me just. So Monday morning. Okay, again, Ethan was sick, so I didn't take him to school. I took Alyssa to school, and because he's sick, and now I'm going to said to myself I was gonna start recording once I drop her off, because I figured this morning as I was taking the kids to school, Alyssa to school, that probably wouldn't get targeted so much, and I was completely right. I think it's getting to the point where I can basically anticipate how they're going to target me, okay, just because been going through this targeting thing for so long that just as how they can always anticipate your movement, because again they know you're tracked, you're monitored, but you can somehow anticipate their movement just based on the way how they target us, right? So it's like me creating, you created a profile of them, okay? So when you create a profile, you're not just creating a profile of one person, you're creating the profile of these people as a group, right? That's what you're doing. You're creating the profile of them as a group, okay? They all act and behave as a singular mindset, right? Kind of like the Borg of Star Trek. The Borg is a race of technological beings, and every
species they conquer, they integrate them into their society, right? So they say that they call themselves the collective mind, the collective hive, the collective thinkers, right? So all their personalities, their mindset is all integrated into each other. And this is kind of like what's happening here with these individuals, right? Because they've been programmed, conditioned, whatever you want to call it, brainwashed to think the same way. Okay, so again, that is how you have to view them as, okay? Not just one individual person with an individual mind, but a group of people, okay, with many different minds, but they all think the same. Okay, all right. So
just because you're black
now, as you see, let me go back. Let me try to explain this. Okay.
Basically, complexion.
All right. So
you don't like me. I get it. Totally fine. Stay in your place, Rosenberg. You don't know about this. Don't make up a whole narrative of how other black people don't like me because I don't know about complexion. We did literally an interview on Thursday, an hour about basically complexion and things of that nature. Okay. That's literally what we do.
Go back again.
You don't know about this. Don't make up a whole narrative of how other black people don't like me because I don't know about complexion. We did literally an interview on Thursday, an hour about basically complexion and things of that nature. That's literally what we do.
Looks at his phone
and colorism. I just like to push people a little bit.
Woman here, she sees me. She took her scarf, covers her nose. The girl behind her. I gotta go back again because I need to explain this.
This is literally what we do.
Okay, so he looks at his phone.
And colorism. I just like to push people a little bit into realizing.
This woman here, she takes her scarf and she's gonna cover her nose with it.
Just because you're black, being open.
Now the girl here, this girl. After this woman here who covers her nose with her scarf, after she does this, this girl here, she's gonna do this.
About those things doesn't make it okay. No, the real conversation isn't even that. The real conversation is.
Oh, it's pretty cleared up today.
Hearing from people who are not in their group with regard to issues. No, the real conversation isn't even that. The real conversation is.
It's pretty cleared up today.
Hearing from people who are not in their group with regard to issues.
Okay. So Friday, so this is Monday, yesterday. So Friday, if you look at Friday's video, you'll see that they had cars parked up here and across there. Okay. Simply because they didn't want me to park here because of, I guess me recording the psyops that's taking place. So, they basically prevented me from parking here. Okay, and you'll see in today's video, which is going to be integrated into this video, you'll see they do the same thing again, but there's a reason for that this time. Okay, so the street sweeper, for some reason, was parked up here as I pull into the sidewalk, right, to the parking space, and he's there. Okay, he's just like sitting there. Now it's past 8:30 because they clean that side of the street Mondays between 8:30 and 10 o'clock. Normally, when the street sweeper comes by, he passes. He doesn't sit here and just wait. And he's not even. He's out in the street. Okay, so he was probably trying to prevent me from parking. Going over here to park, right? For some reason, all of a sudden now they want me to park here, right? So, as I'm describing, I'm saying to myself, what is he just?
Why is the sanitation truck there? It's
and listen,
it's past 8:30.
The sanitation truck, he has every right to be there, but again, when you're a target, being that I'm a target, the reason he's there, okay, is for some, because of the street there, they're trying to send some subliminal message. And what that message is, again, is that I'm under remote neuromonitoring. Because listen to what I say, okay? Then immediately after I said that, he's going to give a hand signal, and then he's going to go. He's going to start cleaning the street.
So he is supposed to, you know, start cleaning.
And you have to view this full screen.
That side of
full
the street.
screen. If you
But
look
he is just
through the glass, you'll see that he, you know, as he put his hands on the steering wheel, he does a hand signal and he drove off. Again,
He is
no,
just sitting
immediately
there.
after I said that, right?
that side of the street, but he is just sitting there.
Okay, so let me
Cleaning,
do the whole conversation.
It's past 8:30, so he is supposed to, you know, start cleaning that side of the street, but he is just sitting there.
You see, immediately after I said what I said, then he, okay, and that's because, like I said, he did a hand signal, okay, and I'm gonna show you what the hand signal is. I'm actually gonna tell you the history of the hand signal. So when I first started noticing what was happening to me when I was first being targeted, and very heavily, mind you, when I would leave work, if I go out the front entrance, it would be a white gentleman. It's a police officer, because you can see the shield. He had his jacket open. You can see his shield around his neck, and he would put his hand on the banister, the staircase railing, and you know, he would do this. Okay, he would do this, like basically this finger, okay, this finger here would just be sticking out, his index finger, his pointing finger, right? And so that went on for quite a while, okay? And then again, you know, when I started to do my videos, apparently he must have think that, well, I'm gonna get him on video, so he stopped. I didn't see him any longer. And then about a week later, civilian perpetrators who was targeting me started holding their finger just like that. Okay, so again, repetition of things, okay, it's called conditioning, right? In order for you to condition someone, you have to repeat things over and over until it basically embeds itself in the person's subconscious, right? And now, so what they've done is that they have embedded an anchor and a trigger. Okay, so when I said that, when the sanitation worker driving the street cleaner vehicle, as he put his hands on the steering wheel, he made the same finger gesture. Okay, so basically, let me know that I'm being remotely neuromonitored, and the individual who conditioned me to recognize that signal is the person that's remotely monitoring my mind. Okay, which is all BS. I mean, that individual was part of my targeting. It was part of my conditioning, and again, it's to try to get me to think that it is this individual, this police officer, is responsible for, you know, my targeting. Okay, which is, you know, partly true. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, you know, I mean, everybody who's participating in targeting me is responsible for my targeting. Okay, it's not just one specific person, and that's why I try to get TI to understand. So when you hear TI said, okay, well, you know what, it's because of this person, it's not because of that person. They want you to think that way. Again, so you would just blame one singular person when it's not. When it's the government, this is government experimentation. So if you take the blame off of the government that's doing this to you and you put it on someone who, what, are you going to sue that person? How are you going to sue that person? What evidence do you have that this person is doing this to you? Okay? They having you think that this is the person responsible. No, that person, they may have gone to that person, okay, to get that individual involved in targeting you. But that person is not the reason. Okay? The reason is you have been selected to be experimented on. Okay? And in order for the government to get away with it, to not have you blame them, to not have you say, oh, this is a government program. This is a non-consensual human experimentation program that's being run by the government, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, Department of Defense, whoever. Okay? So it's their way of trying to take the blame off of them and putting it onto somebody who you can't even sue. You don't even know. Or maybe if you know the person, you're going to sue them. How are you going to sue them? The best thing you can do is to document what's happening to you. Document what happened to you. Learn about their psychological program. Learn about the technology, because a lot of the information about the directed energy weapons that they were developing have been scrubbed off the internet, okay, from a very reputable site to now just a very few sites that's giving you information, but it's just bits and pieces. Okay? It's just bits and pieces. Whereas before, 10 years ago, you could have found information, Army documentation, right? Or documentation from the CIA that talks about the development and proliferation of directed energy weapons. Okay? And even the one site, Dr. Richard Miller, who had a lot of information on there, now his website, they, barely have any information. I mean, he does have a small section on silent sound spectrum, but that's it. He had a lot more information because he helped develop some of the technologies and some of these weapons. Okay, so they basically went to him and said, listen, you can't be putting this on the internet. You got to get rid of it. And he did. Okay? So, again, immediately after I said that, then the driver did the hand signal and he drove off. Okay? You know what that's called? That's called artificial telepathy. Okay? That he's able to react as soon as I said what I said, and then give me the hand signal as letting me know, we're reading your mind, and we're transmitting to the driver exactly, what he should do, being that I said what I said. Okay? Understand that.
But that black people make up 13% of the population.
But that's the irritation. And I'm not saying
That's not just the irritation. You're giving people the benefit of the doubt, though. For some people, that's the irritation. For some people, it's very simple.
And that's me listening to a morning talk show that talks about a lot of issues. So, okay, so let's go and so again, then your perp, he's gonna come out and he has on NYPD shirt, right? You'll see. He comes out with his hoodie on and his NYPD shirt. Okay. Now, again, he's not wearing a jacket because the jacket will cover up that, right? So he needs to just wear the sweatshirt so I can see. Again, and again, this is I know the NYPD is behind. Not behind, but I know participate in my targeting because they've always participated in any type of non-consensual human experiment run by the government, the CIA, the FBI, or even illegal surveillance, right? With like COINTELPRO, they've done things like hire prostitutes to sleep with certain individuals to give them STDs, and then blackmail them into abandoning their whatever it is that they wanted to do. And so now this guy is the red theme now. So as he shows up in the red sweater, the other guy, he leaves. Okay? Okay, let me just and you're gonna see him come back out again. Okay, here we go. So now you're gonna see him come back out again. When this guy here approaches here, and he's gonna stand up right by this garbage can. Okay? So now he comes out. Now he's walking towards me. Then he goes back into the store, sticks his finger in his ears, and goes back into the store. Okay, let me just wind that. I just want to speed this up because another video is going to be a long video, and I'm just trying to keep it short. So again, right? So what do we see here? Now this guy here, in a previous video I've done, he was wearing an army coat. He like was wearing an army uniform, and he stopped and he looked down at the ground. Okay, so here he comes again, and he's looking into the store because again, the perp with the NYPD shirt went into the store as a guy who crossed the street and stood up near the garbage can. So he's staring inside the store, right? Okay, now here comes Pam. Now you see how she slightly looked. Again, sending me subliminal message, right? So she just slightly, very quickly look back at Pam. Okay? Now, and we talk about Coercive Persuasion Program and the psychological threats that they send. One is to break up your relationship, to keep you isolated. So they've been using Pam to target me, like I said lately. And again, it's to break up our relationship, right? And so, because she's not going to do it, okay, so I have to do it. Because you know why? I have to be the bad guy. I have to be the one to leave her with the 2 kids, which she can barely manage, so they can say, well, you know what? He's the bad guy. Let's continue doing this to him. You know what I'm saying? They will, if you're a TI, they will do everything to undermine you. Everything to make you look like the bad guy, to make you be the bad guy. Okay? This is what they're doing. Okay? And again, like I said, from the very heavy-handed targeting that's been going on, I can see how her attitude is changing towards me. Like I said before, when it's like, hey, I cleared on the bed, come on to bed. Now it's like, she just go to bed, leave her bed all, with a whole bunch of stuff on it, push it to one side, she sleeps on one side, and and even today, what happened this morning, I told her, I said, listen, you know what, I'm going home this afternoon, so when you please be here, at a decent time, so that way when you come, I can leave, okay? Because again, the way how they're targeting me and using her to target me, I need to remove myself from that situation right now. Go to my house, and I can sleep in my own bed. Okay, I don't got to be sleeping on no couch. Okay, trying to make me feel like, I'm not a man and all that stuff. And this is what they're doing. This is what they do. Understand the tactics. Okay, understand the tactics. Okay, because I'll tell you what, she's gonna be worse off. Okay, because she's always tied, and with these kids, as energetic as they are, and she knows this. But again, because of the technology that's being used, the mind control, the brainwashing, the conditioning, she doesn't see it. She'll participate. Even when I tell her about it, she gets defensive. So it's getting to the point now where, you know what? Okay, fine. You know what? When you come home, I'm just going to leave. When you're going to work in the morning, after you take the kids to school, I'll come, pick up the kids from school, help them with their homework, cook, and then I'll go back home. Okay? So, this is what's happening. Now, you notice she didn't turn around to look up anymore. Okay? All right. So, on my way, taking her to work. All right? Now, let's get to the next video. So, after dropping her off, and if you watch the people on the sidewalk. So sometimes I'm driving and I'm recording, and when I get in the house, I review the videos again to see if I notice anything that I miss. And sometimes I do miss certain things. So you can, as you're watching this video, watch the people on the sidewalk. Every time I approach or drive by, you'll see them touching themselves. The women will be grabbing their hair, touching their face, putting their palm of their hand against their stomach, do stuff like that. These are all hand signals. Okay. So let's go. Let's see. I don't notice anything here. All right, we're just gonna go. Okay. So, right. So now, again, when I take 7th Avenue to get to Flatbush, I turn up on this block, and you see as I approach how this woman, she starts with the hand signal touching her hair, okay, because they know this is where I turn up on, right? And so anyway, okay, so now this red car is going to be backing up, right? Now that individual could have went, I don't know, but when I looked up, I didn't see, I saw a truck on the next block up before the light. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go this way too. So what have you. But again, they do things to get your attention, right? And usually color coded. So red is a color that they use to target you. Red is a color that they've conditioned you to. Neurolinguistic programming. Okay, anchors and triggers. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna let this part play because this is important. So unbeknownst to me, okay, this is a police vehicle. Okay, you can tell because of the antennas in the back of the vehicle. This is a plain police car, right? Doesn't have any police markings on it, but if you look at the antennas in the back, you can tell. Okay, and this is important because, again, there you go. So timing is everything. Synchronization is everything, right? So all these vehicles here are working together, right, to cut me off so that I will pull behind, again, the police car. And see that number on the license plate? Number 32. Okay, so I want you to see the synchronization, the tactics or the technique that's being applied here. Okay, timing, synchronization, all that. Police car, lights flashing, going into the park. Okay, so let's go. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna think. All right, fine. So again, there's other videos after this with me parking, waiting to leave the car, but I'm not gonna play them. We're gonna get to today's video, this morning video. Okay, so okay, so today's Tuesday, the 1st, and again, synchronization, remote no monitoring, mind control, all at play here.
I didn't say it was laundry, okay?
It was, you know, this song is...
Pulling out of the parking space, looked at the side mirror, and guess what? As I pulled out, police car drove up right behind me. And so what I did is that I slowed down. Okay? Let him get in front of me. Because what they've been doing since yesterday is that they've been behind me. They've been hiding behind me, right? They've been following me, okay? Because they don't want me, again, to record a pattern of harassment, right? So now they're going to change their tactic. So the reason why I slowed down, because I knew exactly what they were doing, okay? So pulled up behind them, giving them a taste of their own medicine. Okay?
The people, and maybe you feel the same way, seem annoyed that they have to...
Okay, so then okay, so now as I pulled up, there was a guy that was walking on the sidewalk, and he walks by, he looks at me, and he pinches his nose.
We face with, guys. You know what I'm saying? This is what we are. Let's not look at the world for what we want it to be. Look at it for what it is. And just to be quite honest with you, man, I think, man, he's a phenomenal talent of our generation.
You know, a guy in the car, the guy in the car pull up behind me, doing these hand signals. Again. All planned, premeditated targeting.
I mean, the stuff that come in his head, when it actually come out his mouth and make its way to the air. Absolutely. He's only listening to people feed him information.
Okay, so again, they'll use the color gray. Okay. All right, so I'm getting ready to turn into this lane. The light changed. These vehicles are going. Okay, so there's a car behind the light. Okay, another gray car behind the light. A lot of gray car behind them. So I'm getting ready to turn, and he speeds up just to get in front of me. Okay, just to get in front of me. Now, as he did that, and I turned to see if the next car was going to do the same, it was a black car, and again, the license plate, the number 32 in the license plate. And I was going to let it go, okay, just so I can catch it on video. But I figured, you know what, right now, the synchronization going on, let me, you know, throw it off. So I pull behind this vehicle, the vehicle that you know, speed just to get in front of me. Okay.
T.I. Kanye West, T.I.'s here, C-Bro in the morning.
Yeah. So of course turn the corner, and this guy here you know, kill himself to get in front of me. You know, and the next car behind him have that particular number in the license plate. So I was gonna let it go just to show you guys
And that's me
again the
explaining
synchronization.
what I just said. Okay, so let's go. Take Ethan to school, drops him off. Oh, okay. Let me All right.
Yeah.
Daddy, that's for your face, Daddy.
Okay.
That's for your face.
Okay.
I want my own video.
You want your own?
Watch again as you know. I'll tell you, they use everybody: teenagers, young kids. As these three teenage girls approach, one of them is going to do cover her nose again
Haphazardly, man, just happened to
and pinch her
have
nose.
seen Kanye there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And,
Now, I'm sorry for doing that on camera, but I'm, you know, just trying to explain how I'm being targeted. Now, see this car that just drove by? So this is a parent that dropped their child off to the same school that Ethan goes to, right? PS6. Okay. Now, again, see this car, this Chevy, all right? Early on in the video, where I showed you the police vehicle, and that happened yesterday, right? With the police vehicle. So again, the power of association, power of adjustment is at work here. So.
yeah, out of the controversy, you know. But we exchanged numbers because we can see each
And
other.
just in case you forget, okay, let me play that video, which is right here. Okay. Turn the volume down. Okay, let me make it bigger. So this was yesterday, right? Okay. Again, the number 32 in the license plate, right? So I'm gonna switch back to the other video, today's video, this morning. Okay, so heading to pick up Pam now. I think that's what I was doing, or maybe dropping a list. Actually, I was dropping a list off next. All right, but remember this vehicle, okay? All right. Okay, remember the license plate now. Florida plates. Okay. Okay, dropping this off to school. All right, dropped it off, and I'm heading to go and pick up Pam. Now, again, these construction workers, in our targeting. If you're a TI, wherever you live, wherever you work, you'll see a lot of construction jobs starting to happen around your route, okay? And so it's the same thing with me, same thing here, and using construction workers. So as I'm approaching these two, again, hand behind the back, this time his palm is not facing out. This time his palm is actually touching his jacket, okay? All right, so on my way to pick up Pam. Actually, I might have missed something here. Let's go. Yeah. Again, female, you know, playing, touching her hair, of course. Okay, let's drove by. She puts her hands down. Okay. Okay, so remember that Chevy vehicle. Okay, remember the license plate, right? So there it goes again. So it's gonna wait there because again, I'm waiting for Pam, right? So this is a subliminal threat. Okay, again, trying to break up me and Pam, you know, using her to target me, but she, there you go, the helicopter. So she's not going to, like I said, say anything. It has to be me, right? It has to be the TI. It has to be the TI to, you know, become isolated, right? So it has to be the TI because, you know, when people are doing things to you psychologically, you know, you're going to shy away. If you don't shy away, it's like I don't shy away at times, then they'll use the police as a heavy-handed intimidation tactic against me. Okay? So, now they're just sitting there, okay, in their car. All right? And again, let's go back to the other video. See? Same model, very similar. Okay, one is just a newer model than the other one. But again, power of association, okay? Power of suggestion. Neurolinguistic programming, all right? Okay. Okay, so I decided to go across the street and wait. Guess what? The minute I go across the street to wait, NYPD traffic vehicle shows up. Shows up, turns on his light. Now, there's no need for you to turn on the light. You know, clearly, I mean, shoot, you're the traffic agents. You know, you can park wherever you want. Plus, there is no other cars here. You know, but again, the use of colors, the red and blue. Okay, now watch the sequence play out. Speed up thing here. Okay, so soon after, again, they parked up here. You're gonna see a young woman, young Hispanic woman, walk by. This is her hair. Okay. As she gets closer, you'll see her grab her hair. All right. You'll see, right? Grabbing her hair, right here. Now this guy comes, he's walking towards it, looking. Okay, another police vehicle. Look what she's doing. Okay, looks at me, looks over the window. He gets out the car. Okay, do you see that? Do you see what happened? Let's go. Let's go back. Okay, this guy here. She's the police vehicle coming. He's looking at me, walking towards me. Then she grabs her hair, starts shaking it. Okay. Immediately as she's walking by me, now he gets out of the vehicle. Okay. They're not done. Now, pinch his nose. This guy right here. Okay. Now, same guy again. Right? Same guy. The one in a previous video had on the green army uniform or the green army jacket. It wasn't camouflage, but it was, you know, that army green type, military type look. And here he is walking by again. He's looking. Look at his face. All right, now we paid attention to the guy walking by. Okay, now I want you guys to pay attention to these two. Okay, these two. Watch. Now they're gonna specifically be using a lot of Hispanics, all right, to target me today. All right. So it's him. This guy. Yeah, they're gonna stand up right next to here. Then they turn around. Okay, now he puts his hands over his mouth. Okay, now, here you go. So, now you'll see, when a lot of TIs talk about how it's like they're creating a file on the TI. Okay, now you're gonna see what they do to make TIs think that way, right? Because normally you'll see a perp. It's one specific perp that will have a folder, right? A file folder or somewhat, and they will appear after some street theater has taken place, and it will be, either one of those folded folders, where you're this huge envelope folders, right? File folders, basically, is what they're called. Or it will be a folder, those folder that you can open up and you put paper in. Then on top of that, look at the hand signal. I explained the hand signal in the video about the pointed finger. Look. So after all this heavy targeting has taken place, there you go. Okay. You see that? Okay, and now that she gets out of the view of the camera, she flips it out and hold it in another way. Okay. Another perp. He's touching himself all over his. They don't stop. Okay. Whenever they get in your presence as a TI, they will start touching on their clothing, start touching on themselves. Now, watch as he walks by. Okay, so if you think he's out of view of the camera, then he's going to open his hand, and he's going to stare at the palm of his hand, okay, as he's walking by. Now I'm looking at him. So he knows I'm looking at him, okay? And if I turn the camera, he would put his hands down real quick. So I just leave the camera as is, hoping that, at least get some part of it, So he's, again, staring at the palm of his hand, right? It's this is the whatever, trigger that is, the palm off, looking at, walking, putting the hands behind the back with the palm facing out, looking at the palm of the hand as they approach or they walk by. It's because of brainwashing, right? Because someone illegally, okay, brainwash me. Someone, we know who that someone is, or some people. We know it's the government, whoever, whichever agency it is, okay? So that is a trigger, right? So why, when they do those things, you may feel certain way negatively, or you may think certain things. It's because you've been brainwashed. Okay? You've been brainwashed. Okay, so Pam gets in the car. And taking her to work. Let's see here. I want to show this part. So, same guy. Now he's all of a sudden he's standing in the middle here, taking pictures. Okay. As I approach, he's going See that? Touch his nose. Just like that. Okay? And then put his hands over his mouth. Okay? Again, let me just pause here. And let me... So... talk about psychological warfare and psychological manipulation in covert type investigations. Again, go to psychologicalharassment.com, read up about it. Now, I haven't committed any crime. Okay? Put this back up. Okay, so now I have not committed any crime. If I committed a crime, the police would show up at my door. Okay? With a warrant or something, okay? If I'm a suspect of a crime, right, and I was being investigated, why do it this way, right? Why do it this way? Why be so covert about it? Why let me know about it, okay? Why? Think about that. So again, this is to try to convince you or to make your brain believe that this is what's taking place so that they can shut you up, so that they can silence you, okay? So that you wouldn't expose the non-consensual human experimentation, the illegal microchipping, the remote neural monitoring, okay? So this is what they do. Okay, and again, they will make you the bad guy. They will manipulate you. They manipulate the people around you. Okay, so again, why not? You know where I live. I'm two places. I'm by Pam. I'm at my house. Okay, I haven't ran, and they try to do that whole, you better move or you better run. Especially there was a point in time when. They will have someone stand up in the middle of the block, and when they see me, they'll start running, right? Running towards me or running away from me, okay? I mean, this is the type of thing that these people do, again. And, this information is out there. One of the websites that first put me onto all this stuff, factnet.org, they basically got rid of that website. Talks about religious cults, destructive cults, the use of coercive persuasion program by religious cults, by academic institutions, by government institutions, by destructive cults again. So, and I used to share that site with everybody, and guess what? They got rid of the site. Okay, why would they do that? Of course, they would get rid of the site because the site exposes what it is that they're doing, and they don't want to be exposed. So they get rid of the site. Maybe they bought the domain name or what have you. I don't know, but all I know is that if you search www.factnet.org, it's no longer there. Okay, just to let you guys know. Okay, so they're not done yet because again, this is harassment strategy, and you'll see how they again attempt to have me have an accident or cause an accident. And okay, let me stop this part here because this part is interesting. I didn't really notice it when I was driving, but when I started to look at the video, then I realized what was happening. Okay, so right. So you're gonna see a lady walking with a suitcase. Okay, she's dragging a suitcase behind her. Again, now they're using the deportation theme, right? Now watch. So this woman here, as she's walked by, you'll see, and this happened simultaneously, right? Synchronization. Okay, timing is everything. She's walking, she's looking at her phone. She looks at me. She's looking at her phone again. Okay, looks at her phone. She's looking up. This guy's gonna walk by, bows his head. Okay. Now come the traffic agent. All right. Now as he is walking, or she, I can't really tell the difference, but you're gonna see that the traffic agents look up at the sky. Stops, look up at the sky, does the hand signal. Okay, walks by, looks at me, stick his hand in his ears. Okay, now also the vehicle, again, strategically placed, right? The number 32 in the license plate, strategically placed, because there's no other car behind it. Okay. All right, now waiting for the light, and first off, okay, and you can tell what's going on here. And again, power of suggestion, power of association, right? So you're gonna see again another individual, female. Well, first off, let's do this. Okay, let's go back here. Police vehicle. Young female crosses the street. She crosses the street. She pinches her nose. See that? See, she turns to the oncoming traffic that way. Does like this and pinches her nose. Okay. Now, light is green. My turn to go. I'm going now. Watch what happens. This guy on the bike, see that? He doesn't stop, but he keeps riding very close to where I almost hit him. Okay, again, trying to cause an accident, right? So now gonna have vehicle blocking the block that I have to turn on. And again, remember, I just start taking this route. Remember I talk about the new route that I've been taking? So of course, you know, they're going to again you know, place certain things around that path, because again, whichever way you go, they're going to move the target into that area, to that section. Okay. So this Con Edison truck stays there. Look, there's no car in front of it. Okay. And again, the use of Hispanic people, male and female, in my targeting. So he's gonna, the driver of the Con Edison truck, he's gonna move as this Hispanic young woman walks by. Okay, see that? As soon as she walks by, then he moves. There was no car in front of him, none. Okay, and you can see, got plenty of space to move. He's gonna pull over, and again, another Hispanic young woman. As I approach, again, she gets out of her car. Now, the use of, when they do stuff like that, it's, to me, it's like, they're using these women for whatever reason. Whatever they're going to say, whatever they're going to try to accuse me of, we'll see. Right? If we ever see. Okay? But this is what they do. They've tried to use black females. Hispanics are blacks, but they consider themselves more Hispanic than black. They've used African descendant females with the same tactics. They've used Caucasian females with the same tactics. They've used Asian females with the same tactics. They've used Arabic females, the same tactic. They've, as a male TI, you get targeted in a very specific way when it comes to women, right? And female TIs experience the same thing, except with men. Okay? Again, these two guys right here, perps. Alright, okay, let's see. So they're gonna stand there, but as soon as I approach or drive by, then, had his arm folded, drops his arms down. And the police with the horse carriage in the back. It's the same one. Okay. Alright, let's get to the next video. Now, again, construction worker. The minute he sees me, okay, he's gonna walk off. He's gonna pinch his nose, touch his ears as he walks off. Okay, let's go back again. Let's do that again. Sees me. Okay, now police vehicle along the route, parked, double parked. So when they start targeting me heavily, you'll see a lot of police vehicle along the route that I take. Okay, and you'll see coming up here, well, you won't see it, but I'll describe it. As I pull up behind this vehicle, I looked in my rearview mirror and there was a police SUV pulled up behind me. Now, at this point, I didn't have my indicator on. The minute as the light changed, I put on my turning signals. The vehicle behind me puts on its turning signals. The minute I turn, the construction worker who was standing here starts walking, again using the color, the color yellow, starts walking this way. His head down. Now, again, doesn't want his face to be shown. Now you may say, okay, well, it was because he was looking at a plastic bag. No, that plastic bag is placed there. Trust me. This morning, it was windy, and this plastic bag would have done flood in the street. This plastic bag would not have been sitting, okay, there like that. Okay, if you ever see a plastic bag, and see how he kicks it too. Okay, so they fill that with dirt so it will stay right there, but it's a reason that it's there. Okay, so he kicks you'll see he kicks it. He didn't walk over it. He kicks it, and you see it didn't move, right? That's just to let you know that they fill it with dirt so it'll stay there. It's because he knows what he's doing. He knows that he's targeting me, and I'm going to be explaining what it is that he's doing. So again, in order to try to counter my description of what is happening, it's there. But trust me, okay, you a plastic bag on the ground, you kick it, it's gonna fly. It's gonna, plastic bag is light. Okay, the wind is gonna pick it up, right? But again, because he doesn't want to show his face, they're going to use method to try to, and at the same time he does that, remember that there's a police vehicle behind me. Okay, of course, he has his head down all the time. Not once did he pick up his head even after he kicked the plastic bag. So I'm thinking, well, you know what? Because I know I didn't run any red light or anything like that. So, because again, when I made the turn, they put on their signal to make the turn. Okay? And now, you'll see. Sure, one more time. Okay. Now again, as I approach this perpetrator here, he is staring at the bank. So again, they love to try to send me subliminal messages because my account is with Chase and my disability, and they're constantly trying to send me subliminal messages about taking away my disability. Right? This is all Coercive Persuasion Program in here. Okay, and I'll show you exactly how. All right. So let's go to here. It said eliminate the victim's mean of subsistence or resources, right? go to another. Let's go here and mind control, coercive tactics. Okay, let's talk about where is it? Where is it here? Okay, so the intimidation tactics. So that's basically what's happening here, right? With the police behind me, you know, that using the police to intimidate me and stuff like that, and again, having perps stand in the corner, stare at as I approach, they'll stare at the bank that I have an account in, so intimidation, right? It may be suggested or imply that failure to adopt the approved attitude, belief, or consequence behavior will lead to severe punishment or dire consequences such as physical or mental illness, the rearrangement of a prior physical illness, drug dependence, which they've tried, didn't work, economic collapse, got me fired from my job, no one would hire me because every time I went to job interviews, I would be targeted by the person doing the interview. Okay, social failure, divorce if you are married, disintegration, failure to find a mate, etc. Okay, this is all the things that they do. They don't just do one, they do all of it. Okay, 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 see what he does. Let's go back. It's looking as I approach, and then he looks up at the red light. Okay, so I'm on my way back, and I'm gonna skip past a lot of it. All right, and that's it. So there's another video that I want to do, but again, it's gonna make this video even longer, and don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna end it right here. I hope that again, me showing you guys and explaining what is taking place, give you a better understanding of how they use these coercive mind control tactics, the method, how they play it out in street theater, and how, since my mind has been conditioned in a certain way, I've been brainwashed, that they're able to do these psychological threats, right? And how I interpret it. Okay, so just trying to expose what's happening, what's going on. Okay, and I'm not the only one. They're not hundreds of TIs. There are probably thousands of us. Actually, there are thousands of us just here in the United States. Probably even more. But I would say maybe high as maybe close to 40 plus thousand of us. TIs who experience this on a daily basis. Okay, and that's just I'm just lowballing that figure. It's most likely is higher. But I can say within a given area of where I am, like for New York, for instance, there are, probably I would say over 5,000 TIs that's been going through this. I've been put through this psychological torture on a daily basis. Okay.